Hello, my dear students. Let's continue our lecture. I hope you remember that we had done, or rather, we had started the second chapter, that is systematics in living organisms. I told you that systematics means putting or bringing rather everything in system. That is so many species, so many diverse forms. But to bring an order, we need a system, a branch called as systematics. Last lecture, I had told you that there is a branch called as taxonomy which deals with all the naming and proper classification. I had mentioned to you that there are 5 kingdoms of, we call it as 5K classification. One is kingdom Monera, second is kingdom Protista, third is fungi, fourth plantae, and fifth animalia. Let me start with a detailed note of kingdom Monera. So, all set, students? I hope that while switching on the video, while you start the video, have a paper or a notebook and a pen so that as you are hearing the video, listening attentively, and you make notes or rather points however suitable to you, so that these points get imprinted, registered in your mind. So let's start. I've just made a gist of each kingdom. Let me go with the detailed explanation. So let's start, students. Kingdom Monera. It's comprised of all the bacteria. Whatever bacteria existing on this earth, wherever. I told you that the bacteria, they are omnipresent. Please understand the word omnipresent means they are present everywhere. Soil, air, water, in your gut, in your mouth, in your nasal cavity, in the gut of the animals. So we call them as omnipresent. All the bacteria come under kingdom Monera. They are all unicellular, means they are made up of one single cell. They are prokaryotic. Pro का मतलब है primitive, the very old, ancient formed cells. Their mode of nourishment or nutrition is photoautotrophs. Photo means light, you know it. Auto means self. Trophs means nutrition. Their photoautotrophs means with the help of sunlight they can prepare their own food, but very few are phototrophs and few are chemoautotrophs. Chemo means they make use of chemical energy. Photo, they make use of light energy. Chemoautotrophs, they make use of chemical energy, right? Few are photoautotrophs and few are chemoautotrophs. But majority of them, they are heterotrophs. Hetero means they are depending on others for nutrition. Clear? Now since it is a prokaryotic, all the bacteria, they are prokaryotes. They don't possess a proper, well organized nucleus. This you would have done I'm very sure you would have done in your 10th standard. They have a structure called as nucleoid. There is no nucleus, remember? They have nucleoid. These nucleoids are nothing but circular. They are circular DNA. They have a circular DNA. Remember, we eukaryotes, we have a double-stranded linear DNA, a very rough diagram. But bacteria, they have circular DNA, which is termed as nucleoid. Very, very important. The next very important feature you should remember is these bacterial cells, they possess a structure called as plasmids. They possess a structure called as plasmids. Let me continue here the point. They are nothing but extra chromosomes, something extra. Apart from the regular DNA, which is just having a single chromosome, or rather the chromosome is having the DNA. Apart from that, they have something extra, and we call it as plasmids. Plasmids, please highlight it, note it, register it, because all this is again plasmids, a very detailed chapter in 12th standard. So put your base strong by noting the term plasmids. Now plasmids, they are responsible for the bacteria's toxicity. Toxicity word, if you find it difficult, let me tell you. Toxicity means its harmful nature, its pathogenicity. You know that bacteria are harmful. There are useful bacteria, harmless, useful. But harmful bacteria is harmful because of plasmids. Pay attention. Excuse me, students. Now these extra chromosomes, they have a very, very, very significant role, a very important role in a branch called as, which is a very newly, recently branch, I can call it applied branch, which is genetic engineering. Plasmids, extra chromosomes, plasmids के कारण ही a bacterial cell has a nature, harmful nature, and despite having a plasmids responsible for harmful nature, but they have an active role in genetic engineering. You know, man has conquered, achieved so many things. He is responsible for destruction, but he's he's very constructive also. He has made full use of plasmids and used it actively in genetic engineering. Right? I hope, students, everything is getting clearer. Next, I go with this. Next feature. These bacterial cells, they have a cell wall which is made up of peptidoglycans. Now, peptido means it's protein, glycans means it is carbohydrates. Peptidoglycans means it's a combination of proteins and carbohydrates, right? Next is, they have ribosomes. Now these ribosomes are quite dense. So if I say dense, I'm darkening it. They are dense spherical bodies like this. But they are of a smaller size, that is 70S. S stands for a unit, the size unit. Again, to remind you that the bacterial cells, they don't have any cell organelles. They don't have a well organized nucleus, as I had mentioned. They have nucleoid, they have plasmids, they have cell wall with this combination, and they have ribosomes, dense spherical bodies with 70S, and they show reproduction. I told you, anything living will show reproduction, right? They show reproduction. Mostly asexual. Very rare. When the conditions are unfavorable, then they show sexual reproduction. But for you, this will suffice, this much information, that they show asexual reproduction, which is binary fission. That is, a cell breaks and two cells. Again, these two cells break, four cells. That's why I told you they multiply at a very, very faster rate. Once you are infected by bacteria, the infection, spreads or rather multiplies or becomes severe because they multiply at a very, very faster rate. The next method is budding. A cell gives out a bud, another cell, another cell. This is how they multiply. Clear? Now let's see the different shapes of the bacteria. If they are goal, round, we call it as coccus. Coccus singular. Get used to these terms. Cocci plural. So coccus and cocci, don't get confused. Singular, plural. When they are rod shaped, we call it as bacillus. There are many, we call it as bacilli. Comma shaped, we call it as vibrio. If they are spiral like a spring, we call it as spirilinum or spirili. Singular, plural. Right? Now, these bacteria, on the basis of their evolution, I told you that we all have evolved even based on their bacterial evolution. There are two types or two categories. Number one, archaebacteria. Archaeology. I hope something is ringing in your mind. Yaad karo. Archaeology, study of the old, fossils. Archaebacteria. And the other is eubacteria. Clear? Archaebacteria, they have or they show everything, or rather, I can say they show tolerance for everything that is in extremes. Extremes means बहुत ज़्यादा. इसीलिए we have termed them as extremophils. They can tolerate very high salinity surrounding. Salinity means salt, kharapan. So we call them as halophils. They also have an extreme tolerance, very, 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 very high temperature. So we call them as thermophils. You find this bacteria in abundance. Have you heard of these terms? Hot springs. जहाँ एकदम deep down from the earth there are hot springs, popping up, coming up. They have these bacteria. Thermophils are found there in abundance. Let's talk about eubacteria. Eu is meaning true bacteria. These are, most of them, they are autotrophs. A very great example here is green sulfur. Green word means they are what? Photosynthetic. Because they have these pigments, that is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, carotene, xanthophyll. So these pigments with the help of these pigments, the bacteria can prepare their own food. Eubacteria, true bacteria, the development is quite better, right? But there are certain bacteria which are heterotrophs. Now, in this eubacteria, if you would have heard of, if nahi, I'm sure you would have heard of a category called as cyanobacteria. These cyanobacteria, they have they have specialized cells called as heterocyst. Please again here do a marking, do a highlighting, or jot it down in your notebook. Heterocyst is very, very important. You have a detailed note in 12th also about this. So get this registered, highlighted. Heterocyst is the region or cells where the bacteria does the job of nitrogen fixation. What is nitrogen fixation? Where the atmospheric nitrogen is converted to nitrites and nitrates. Right? Now, some bacteria, I told you some are autotrophs, some are heterotrophs. Cyanobacteria, they have heterocyst, special cells. Responsible for nitrogen fixation, and some are decomposers. They convert the complex substances into simple, whatever is there, the dead plants, dead bodies of animals, any living organism, the bacteria decomposes it and converts it into the simple form and back to the soil. Bacteria, they are so helpful, useful. They are responsible for curdling of milk. Curdling of milk is what? Dahi banana, nitrogen fixation. And they are also helpful in antibiotic fixation, is antibiotic preparations. Now, apart from these good points, there are, let's see the other side of the bacteria, other side of the coin. They are pathogens. Means they cause diseases, TB, cholera. These are few diseases caused by bacteria. Right? Now, with this, students, I complete the kingdom Monera. My next lecture, I'll start with kingdom Protista. Meanwhile, you'll have a short homework assignment, whatever posted. You have to attempt it. It's not you are kids, we are giving you homework. Always remember, it's to boost up your confidence and get all the points registered. Thank you, dear students. Be attentive. Listen to the lecture once, twice, thrice, and keep all your concepts clear. Thank you, my dear students.